Hey, everybody, this is Dr. Scott. Are you ready for your mind to be blown? You got to stick with this video and watch what I have for you today. What I promised last week, if you follow me, is some examples of some of the labs that I do on a daily basis with patients of mine, old, middle-aged, and young kids alike. Guys, I'm serious when I say this. The labs that I'm about ready to show you today are gut specific labs that I've not had not one single patient that we've run these labs on that have good findings. Okay, these are people all over the spectrum from really unhealthy, dealing with some serious health issues, to people that are healthy on the outside, feel good, but want to be proactive with their life, their health, their vitality, their longevity. Okay. There's so many things going on inside of us that we may or may not even have a clue are actually going on that may lead to issues in the future. So pay attention to these labs and your mind's going to be blown. I hope so anyway, because this is like when I start to nerd out here. But I hope you guys stick with me. I'm going to start sharing my screen here so you can see what I'm actually looking at here. So what I want to show you guys first is one of the more common stool assessments that I do is called a CSAP. It stands for Comprehensive Stool Analysis and Parasitology. Now, there are other gut labs that we can do, other stool samples that show different things, but this is a very common one because it's very thorough and comprehensive. What you're going to see on page one is this little green, yellow, and red kind of area, chart area. So just so you know how important your microbiome is. So basically your microbiome are all of the things that are living inside of your gut, bacteria specifically, and other things. Okay. You need a healthy microbiome to be healthy. The evidence and science will show this over and over and over. So whether you're dealing with or your kids are dealing with chronic illnesses, allergies, sinus issues. This time of year, that stuff's a dime a dozen. Autoimmune issues. Maybe it's even mental health issues because the gut microbiome has everything to do with mental health. Maybe it's actual gut issues, right? Like IBS, ulcerative colitis, celiac, Crohn's, all of these things. Maybe it's kids with meltdowns and tantrums and behavior issues. Maybe it's ADHD. Guys, all of these things relate back to the gut, as you probably know if you follow me at this point. But here's the details. You see this person on the green side, the green column, these are the good bacteria that we need. We absolutely know we need at high levels in order to be and live a healthy life. You can see where it says NG. That means there's no growth of these good bacteria that we need. And then the other ones are only +1, +2, +3. We actually want all of these to be at +3 or +4 levels. That's showing that there's a good distribution, a good growth of these good bacteria. So this person's in trouble. They're in trouble. Their health is at risk because these bacteria are not in good quantities. The yellow column is what we call commensal or imbalanced flora. So these are not disease causing bacteria, but usually these are going to start crowding out, stealing fuel from the good bacteria. So the more of these we have at the +2, +3, +4 levels, or just the sheer number of them that we have, are going to be not a good thing over time. And then lastly, on this page, you see the red column. This is where it gets really fascinating and things that I see every day, even in unsuspecting people that maybe they don't even have gut issues, but it's hormone issues or mental health, things like that. These pathogenic or dysbiotic bacteria, we catch it every day. These are the ones that are growing inside of you that are causing all sorts of disruption and interruption to proper digestion, proper health, proper immune system health, and trickling down to all other systems of the body. So this is where it gets specific. What kind of probiotic do you need? What kind of things do you need to kill off? Do you need an antibiotic? Do you need a natural antimicrobial? This is where the answers come. We can actually see what's going on and what you need specifically. If I go down to this part, this is another thing that I found in myself and I find all the time in people is yeast overgrowth. I was dealing with chronic fatigue and I was like, I have no idea why. Like I'm eating right, I'm exercising, I'm checking all the boxes. I had a yeast overgrowth in my gut. Now, the thing about yeast is it's very hard to kill. Once it starts taking over, very difficult to kill off. So we have to do specific things. And some people have no clue that this is going on. I was one of them. I had no clue I had a yeast overgrowth inside of my gut, and it can go other places in the body, right? And even other than just yeast infections, like a lot of females might deal with yeast infections, that's another sign that you have systemic all over the body, yeast overgrowth issues. This page will show other viruses, other pathogenic bacteria that we might find. I'll fast forward to this page because parasites are a dime a dozen. We probably all, if you follow social media things, you're going to see all these people talking about parasites and doing parasite cleanses. Yes, you may need to do that, but if you don't know what parasites are going on inside of you, or if your microbiome is in a good place, you don't really know what to do. Okay, so the cleanse may or may not work. So each of these may take a specific treatment protocol in order to kill off. Okay, so not everything is created equal. This person had 3 different parasites living inside their gut. Fast forward to this page. It's another way that they culture out yeast. And you can see this person had a ton of yeast going on. I see, again, not this person, but a lot of people with digestion issues when it comes to protein, where it says muscle fibers or vegetable fibers. So maybe digestive enzymes or stomach acid levels we check oftentimes are not operating and fully functioning like they should. So these are going to be lit up in people like that. And then if we keep going down, we're going to scroll down to this page. I see all the time this inflammation section, lactoferrin, calprotectin, and lysozyme. A lot of people have these off the charts. When they get really high, that's when you're going to be diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, Crohn's, and all those celiac, some of those kind of more autoimmune type gut issues. But at lower levels, but still above normal, there's a ton of inflammation in people's guts. I see it every day. This person, fortunately, did not have a lot of inflammation in their gut, but they did have these yellow areas down here under short chain fatty acids. Now, short chain fatty acids are really important. Kind of think about them as the first line of defense for your gut. So if you don't have sufficient quantities of short chain fatty acids, it usually means the bacteria, so go back to that first page, are not in sufficient levels. And so you just don't have that protection, okay, in your gut and your gut lining, which then leads to the second test I want to talk to you guys about, is what's called a gut barrier panel. You've probably heard maybe about leaky gut syndrome, and this is a diagnostic test. It's a blood test that we do to see how bad or severe someone's leaky gut may be. You can see this person. There was a mistake on this sample lab. I didn't want to show a real lab here. So where the red are, it says negative. Those would normally say positive, but any area that you see red means they're positive. So this person has 4 of the 8 markers positive for leaky gut syndrome. Okay, so I'm not going to go into the details of what each of these mean, but basically the first column where it says IgG is more of a chronic issue, and IgA is like an acute, localized type of an issue. Okay, so this person had a little bit of both. This becomes a very high priority to heal this, because leaky gut syndrome basically means the lining of your intestines is starting to leak things through that should not be able to get through into your bloodstream. Once these things cross that barrier, get into your blood, can stimulate an autoimmune reaction. So skin issues, autoimmune things like eczema, psoriasis, autoimmune conditions like thyroid disorders, and really you could go on and on and on about autoimmune type issues can start and originate from a gut issue, a gut barrier panel, which this is only $100 test, guys. It's so worth knowing. And again, you cannot know how to treat this until you know what's going on specifically, because all 4 of these markers take something different in order to start to heal. Okay, so I hope that makes sense to you guys. And I just cannot emphasize enough, if you want to invest in your health or your child's health this year, you got to start looking at some of these specialty functional medicine labs that are going to open your mind and to so many things that are going on inside of you that you may or may not have any symptoms of. Okay, so again, these labs, they cost a little bit of money. The gut barrier is $100. A stool sample somewhere usually between $300 and $350, and it is some of the best money that you're going to spend, because you don't have to waste money on supplements that you're just guessing with. I see people all the time taking things that they don't need to take, or maybe taking the wrong thing that's actually feeding into the problem. Even when it comes to probiotics, everybody thinks probiotics are so good, which they are, but you have to use the right one for what's going on inside of your gut for them to really do the job that you need and want them to do. So I hope that makes sense. DM me, please, with any questions, comments, concerns you might have about this stuff. And if you really want to get started in learning more, again, DM me and I'm happy to set up free 30-minute consultation, complimentary consult calls with you to go over more details to see if this is the right fit for you. I'm going to continue to go on and show more labs in further videos, but I wanted to start with the gut because, again, the gut, and there's more things we can do. This is just an example. I hope you guys all understand that. Sample labs, sample results of things that I see every day in people. Okay, so DM me if you have questions, comments, concerns. Hope to see you on the next video. Bye.